When a ship goes down, most people believe the greatest danger is the sinking itself. The final, violent moments as the vessel succumbs to the sea, the chaos, the desperate scramble for something, anything that floats. The freezing water, a shock to the system so profound it can steal the breath from your lungs before you even have a chance to drown. This is the cold shock response, an involuntary gasp that can be fatal in the first minute, the desperate fight to stay afloat, to keep your head above the waves. But history, written in the logbooks of countless maritime disasters, tells a far more unsettling story. For many survivors, the real danger begins only after they escape the ship. After the noise has faded and they are left alone with the immense quiet indifference of the ocean. Because surviving the disaster is only the first test. It's the explosive, violent exam you didn't have time to study for. What comes next is slower, quieter, and, for the unprepared, far more lethal. The ocean is patient. It has an infinite capacity to wait, and panic is deadly. It is the internal storm that sinks you long after the ship has gone down. There's a powerful psychological moment that happens when someone escapes a sinking vessel, a moment of profound, deceptive calm, relief. A wave of it washes over you, so potent it feels like salvation. Your brain, flooded with endorphins and still running on the fumes of adrenaline, tells you, "I made it. The worst is over." But survival experts understand something most people don't. This feeling of relief is a trap. You are nowhere near safe yet. In fact, you have just entered a new, more insidious phase of the struggle. Now you are exposed to the elements, utterly and completely. No shelter, limited energy, rapid heat loss, even in seemingly warm water, and unpredictable weather that can turn a calm sea into a churning nightmare in minutes. And perhaps most dangerous of all, a human mind that is no longer thinking clearly, a mind entering a state of cognitive fog. Because the second adrenaline begins to fade, the mistakes begin. This is the adrenaline crash, and it is as dangerous as any wave. Adrenaline is survival fuel, a biological superpower. It sharpens focus, dulls pain, and pushes the body past its normal limits, allowing for feats of strength and endurance that would be impossible otherwise. But it doesn't last. It's a loan from your body's energy reserves, and the bill always comes due. When adrenaline drops, the brain often swings violently in the opposite direction, into confusion, lethargy, fear, and mental paralysis. In this state, survivors begin asking dangerous questions. Questions born not of logic, but of rising terror. Should we swim for that shore? It looks so close. Should we leave the wreckage? It feels like we're just sitting here, doing nothing. Is rescue coming? Has anyone seen a plane, a ship? Do we have time? How much time do we have? Fear compresses decision-making. It shortens the horizon of thought from hours and days to mere seconds. People stop thinking strategically and start reacting emotionally. The need to do something overrides the wisdom of doing the right thing. And at sea, that impulsive reaction is often what kills you. One of the single deadliest decisions shipwreck survivors make is abandoning floating debris. It is a catastrophic and tragically common mistake. Wreckage dramatically increases visibility to rescuers. A human head in the water is nearly impossible to spot from the air. A field of debris is a clear signal. It conserves precious energy. Treading water burns calories at an astonishing rate, accelerating both exhaustion and hypothermia. And most importantly, it buys time. Time is the currency of survival. Every minute you can stay alive is another minute for rescue to arrive. But panic whispers a different, seductive idea. It preys on the feeling of helplessness. We should try to swim. It feels proactive. It feels like taking control. It is an illusion. The open ocean destroys that confidence with brutal efficiency. Distances are deceiving. An object that appears to be a mile away could easily be 5 or 10. The sea plays tricks on the eyes. Currents are stronger than they appear. A 2-knot current is a gentle flow. For a swimmer, it's an impassable, energy-sapping treadmill, and exhaustion arrives without warning. It isn't a gradual decline, it's a sudden wall. One moment you are swimming, the next your limbs are led. Even the strongest, most accomplished swimmers vastly underestimate how fast the body drains heat and strength in open water. Experienced mariners know a simple, inviolable rule. It is drilled into them from their first day at sea. Stay with the wreckage. Always. Become easier to find. Make the rescuer's job possible. Survival is often not about reaching land. That is a Hollywood fantasy. It is about remaining alive long enough for rescue to reach you. It is a game of endurance, not a race. The ocean punishes unnecessary movement. Every calorie burned without purpose is a minute of survival time lost. As the hours pass, thirst creates another terrifying psychological trap, a primal, overwhelming urge that can defy all logic. After hours or days adrift, beneath a relentless sun or drying wind, logic begins to erode under the pressure of dehydration. The water you are floating in, endless, cool, and wet, starts to look like relief. The mind begins to bargain. Just a little sip, it can't hurt. It is not. It is a poison, disguised as a cure. The salt content in seawater is roughly 4 times what the human body can process. Drinking it forces your kidneys to pull water from your own cells to flush out the excess salt, accelerating dehydration instead of curing it. It strains the kidneys to the point of failure, disrupts the body's delicate chemistry, and can quickly trigger delirium and hallucinations. In the annals of maritime history, there are countless tragic accounts of survivors who physically escaped a disaster, only to lose the final battle to the desperation of thirst. The rule is simple, absolute, and must be held on to with every last fiber of your rational mind. Do not drink the ocean you're trying to survive. But the greatest threat of all, the one that underpins every bad decision, from swimming for a phantom shore to drinking salt water, is rarely the water itself. It is panic, the internal saboteur. The ocean doesn't hunt you. It doesn't have malice. It doesn't need to. It simply waits for you to defeat yourself. Panic increases your heart rate and breathing, burning precious oxygen and energy. It clouds judgment, making complex thought impossible. It is the enemy of patience. Calm survivors signal better. They use mirrors, bright colors, and methodical movements to attract attention. They think like a rescuer. They conserve strength. They adopt postures that minimize heat loss, like the heat escape lessening posture, or HELP, pulling their knees to their chest. They stay warmer. In a group they huddle together, sharing body heat, dramatically increasing their collective survival time. They understand that cooperation is a powerful tool against the cold. They think longer. They ration their mental energy just as they would food or water. And, because they think longer, they often live longer. There is a phrase used in survival training, a piece of wisdom passed down from one generation of sailors to the next. The sea tests the mind before it tests the body. People imagine survival is about brute strength, about being the strongest swimmer or the toughest individual. It isn't. History is filled with stories of the strongest who perished first. It is about control. Control of your breathing to fight off panic. Control of your emotion to maintain hope. And absolute control of your decisions, weighing each one against the simple metric: does this conserve energy and buy time? Because long before the body fails from cold or thirst, the mind usually does, and once hope fractures, rational decision-making follows. Despair is the final, self-inflicted wound. Time behaves strangely in survival situations. It stretches and compresses, distorted by fear and uncertainty. Minutes feel like hours when you're scanning an empty horizon. Hours feel endless. The wait can feel more punishing than the initial disaster. But rescue operations are methodical. They are not random. They are a science. Aircraft expand search grids based on wind, currents, and time. They are looking for you. Ships sweep projected drift zones, calculating where you are most likely to be. Signals are monitored. Distress beacons, radio chatter, even satellite imagery can come into play. Help is a process, and it is in motion. Survival often becomes a quiet, internal contest between your patience and your fear. The ocean rewards those who conserve energy, warmth, hope. It overwhelms those who fight it blindly, who exhaust themselves against its immense, unfeeling power. Shipwrecks are violent, loud, and fast, but what follows is often disturbingly calm, a profound and terrifying quiet, a vast empty horizon, the gentle slap of rolling water against your raft or wreckage. And the silence. A silence so deep it magnifies the frantic beating of your own heart. And in that silence, the growing temptation to make one irreversible mistake. The ocean does not forgive panic. It has no capacity for it. But it often rewards patience. It gives time to those who know how to keep it. If you take anything from this, remember this one truth, the core principle of at-sea survival. Survival is rarely about a single heroic effort. More often, it is about the quiet refusal to make the fatal decision. It is a victory won through 1,000 small, correct choices. Because once you are out there, floating in the aftermath, the greatest threat is no longer the sinking ship. It is the moment you stop thinking clearly. Understanding this changes how you see the ocean. It is not an adversary to be fought. It is not just powerful. It is an environment to be endured. It is indifferent, and in the calculus of survival, indifference is far more dangerous than aggression. Subscribe to Commander Puzzles for real ocean survival insights, because the more you understand these moments, the better your chances of never becoming part of them.